Dispatchers help callers on the worst days of their lives. For over 25 years, we've been there. A silent partner in millions of calls thanks to our redundant and diverse networks that ensure call delivery. Today, cities are bigger, traffic more congested, and the challenge is more complex. But you're never alone, because InDigital is quietly improving, implementing, and driving the next generation of 911, so you're supported in every situation. Make the switch at InDigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Yo, what is going on? This is Ricardo of the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are now live for Open Mic, and it is October 12th, 2025. This month is going super fast already. How's everyone doing? This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, a leader next-gen core services, and a big shout out, as always, to subscribers of the podcast. I would not be able to do everything that I do if it wasn't for all of you, but especially all of you who are here watching, supporting, listening, sharing, all that good stuff. So thank you very, very much. Man, it has been a week. A lot of stuff going on. This past weekend, though, was we're still in the weekend, right? So this this weekend has been pretty fun. A lot of a lot of good stuff has just been happening, and stuff I can't fully talk about yet. However, the stuff from this weekend has been excellent. My dad came and visited us yesterday out of nowhere. So a lot of you know, or some of you may not know, that my kids and I, we are big pro wrestling fans, and they had a wrestling PLE yesterday in Perth, Australia. And whenever they have one in Australia, when there is a time difference like that, we will what we call slumber party it up. and that's what we did Friday. Friday evening, we watched SmackDown. We had a bunch of snacks and stuff, and we just hung out and spent time together. And then my daughters and I, we camped out. We had a little slumber party in the living room. My youngest passed out kind of early, and my 14-year-old Lola and I, we were just playing video games and stuff. And we were hanging out, and then we crashed out. So it was probably about 6 a.m. that I got up, because I ended up making breakfast for all of us, which I love to do. I love cooking and stuff. So I made some turkey, some ground turkey and egg, seasoned it up all nice. I made some tortillas, and then I also had some egg and chorizo. And so we just had some breakfast tacos that morning. We were watching, wrestling and stuff, and then my dad calls out of nowhere, and he he calls up and he's just like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I said, "We're watching wrestling." I said, "What are you up to?" And he goes, "Oh, so you're home?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, we're home." And he goes, "Okay, I'll see you in a little while." Now, I live in Indiana, and my dad lives in Southwest Michigan, so it's about a 3.5 hour drive, give or take, with traffic and such. So I said, "Is everything okay?" He goes, "Well, yeah." He doesn't just, I mean, he comes by, right? But not just like out of nowhere. So, immediately I'm thinking, is there something wrong? And he goes, "No, there's nothing wrong. I just wanted to come and hang out." And we're like, "Okay, cool, cool." So he ended up coming over, and my brother and his girlfriend and her son came over, and we grilled out. We grilled some fajitas. We had just a good time. But he also just got a new iPhone 17 Pro Max and wanted a little help with it. So we had fun and all, but he needed some assistance. It was pretty hilarious, but either way, had a good weekend, and everything has been good. So as we do every open mic, how are you doing? How are you feeling? On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing? How are things? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. What is your number? For myself, it's been so good today. I would say that I'm already at a 9. I don't know about all of you, but I'm at a 9. But yeah, what are your numbers? Where are you coming in at? Also, this morning, we watched the original Tron from 1982. I was 1 when that movie came out. And for it coming out in 1982, it still holds up, man. It is good. I I dig it. I love it. My youngest, who's 9, Olivia, she had not watched it yet. And it had been a while since Lola had watched it, so we were watching it downstairs, and we got through with it, and I said, "So what did you think?" And she goes, "It was good. It was good. I liked it. I liked it." I was like, "All right, cool." "Oh, Keely, what's up, Keely? What's going on?" Kev says 3. His butt hurts. It wasn't me. Bro, what happened? I'm guessing you slip and fell or something. Keely says that her number is 7-ish. It's cold, windy, and rainy. Ooh, yeah, that'll do it, man. That'll do it. Well, Kev, let's see if we can get your number up there a little bit. That sucks, dude. I feel for you. Um, so we watched the movie, and when it was done, she goes, "What are we gonna do next?" I said, "Well, we're just hanging out, man." I said, "I'm gonna put on the sequel," which it was Tron Legacy, and it came out in 2010. So this is a year before my 14-year-old was born, and obviously way before my youngest. And graphics way better. But also you have to think, for the time in 1982, like that movie was bomb. Like that was really really good. That was awesome. And like I said, I still dig it. I think it still holds up. And so then, oh, also in Tron Legacy, I mean, come on. You got Daft Punk doing the soundtrack. Chef's kiss for real. For that movie, the storyline, just all of it. Superb. And so we watched it. We watched the sequel as well, and I'm sitting there on the couch with Olivia, and I mean, the both of us were just watching because I really don't remember a lot of Tron Legacy. I know I had watched it before, but I don't remember all of it. So for me, it was almost like I was watching it for the first time, and in Olivia, especially for the first time, and so I'm looking at her every so often, and she's just, like, glued, and we're sitting there just snacking on some stuff, and we get to the end of the movie, and she goes, "Yep," and we had to fist bump it out. We're like, "That was great, that was great." So now I gotta check out part 3. Now, I've been reading that the reviews aren't that great, but the soundtrack is awesome from what I've read. I mean, you can't go wrong with Nine Inch Nails with Trent Reznor doing a soundtrack. Always delivers. So I want to check it out either way. I want to see what it's all about. That one is PG-13, so I have to watch it first to see if my youngest can see it because the other two are PG. So either way, um, it's been a good weekend. And I was excited to come on and do open mic tonight. I'm not doing anything on TikTok. I'm just right now on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Instagram. I think tomorrow when I do my coffee chat, I'll put it on. I'll do the coffee chat on TikTok as well, and have a conversation there. But it's just been a lot of good stuff going on, and I posted some videos throughout the week that I kinda wanna share and talk about just to see what your thoughts are, okay? What I do wanna say right off the bat is, I did post episode 623, and that is with Mandy, who is a 911 professional out of Texas. So much fun. Such a great episode. So if you have not had a chance to check that one out, make sure to do so. You will not be sorry. And then the next episode that's going to be going out to patrons tomorrow, and then it'll go live probably either Wednesday or Thursday for everyone else. And that'll be 624. That'll be with Victoria, and it's another now professional out of Texas, and that is going to end up wrapping up the episodes from National Abco out of Baltimore. So it was such a good time out there in Baltimore as well. It was hot as hell, and we talked about that. It was super hot over there, but excellent conference. Very, very good. And again, as always, a big shout out to Rapid SOS for hosting the podcast there. And of course, we've got this partnership. And I'll say this right off the bat, there's an episode that they have coming out. If you didn't know this, Rapid SOS has a podcast as well, and it's called The Safety Gap. And there are some excellent episodes on there. This one that I'm talking about specifically is supposed to be coming out the 22nd of October, which incidentally is also the same day as the Public Safety Showcase. So a lot of great speakers going to be going on there as well. That starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and that is exclusively in the Trenches community. So if you've not joined up, make sure to do so. It's a free community. There's over 200 hours worth of continuing education, over 44 hours of the Dispatchers Roundtable, and so many good things coming up there. So make sure to check that out. Again, join up. It's free. You can go to links, and it's just right there on the screen. It's links with 2eyes.co/IAM911. And if you scroll down just a little bit, there's a button there, and you can join, again, the Trenches community for free, and you can check that out. But as I was saying, on that day, October 22nd, is an episode that is going to be coming out, and that is an episode where I had the honor of sitting in as a guest co-host with Karen Marquez, who is the Chief Public Safety Brand Officer with Rapid SOS, and we did an episode with Jim Schmidt, who is the father of Gabby Petito. Now, if you don't know about the Gabby Petito case, please Google it. Do some research. Check it out. It was a big case that kind of captivated the nation, really. Excuse me. And because this month of October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we wanted to do this as well, but also to highlight not just Gabby's story, but also her legacy and the good work that is coming out of the Gabby Petito Foundation. So Jim, not only being her father, he is also the secretary for the foundation. And again, it was an honor to sit in with Karen and record this episode. So that episode, again, for the Safety Gap, you can listen to that podcast anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. And for any other information on that, you can go to rapidsos.com. And for the foundation, it is gabbypetitofoundation.org. You can find all the information there. But that episode will be coming out October 22nd. And then October 29th, it'll be a kind of a guest episode on Within the Trenches podcast. And I'll have an intro on there, so it doesn't go right into it. I'll have an intro on there so that people know what they're watching and listening to, so that when they tune in, they're like, what did I pick the right one? Is this the same one? So we're doing some cross promotion because, as you know, we've got this partnership again with Within the Trenches podcast and Rapid SOS. So make sure to check all that stuff out. It is a very powerful, impactful episode, and it's one that you do not want to miss. So that is coming up. This past week, I actually also had a chance to. Oh wait, Keely. Keely. What's funny is that I was saying what I was saying, and then I looked down and I saw awful, and I thought she's got to be talking about Baltimore weather. That was some interesting timing, and also just hilarious that it came up around that same time. So Keely says the weather in Baltimore, that is not the podcast, with a laughing emoji. Yeah, I thought that was pretty hilarious. I knew what you meant. But this past Keely says, yeah, sorry about that. This past week, I also had the honor and the chance to sit in on a podcast as a guest. And this is a podcast that is out of New Jersey. And now I'm trying to remember the name. I feel bad now. It was, well, not the name exactly of the podcast, but it came out of a library, and I believe it was Ridgewood, New Jersey. It's their local library. They record episodes of their podcast there, and we did the podcast host. Her name is Roberta. Her brother, who's a lieutenant in the area, he was on there as well. So she was interviewing the both of us, and we were talking about what we do, the work that we do, rather, and our missions, our movements for what we do with mental health and wellness as it pertains to, for myself, 911, for 911 professionals, and then for him, what he does with law enforcement. And we were just kind of going back and forth, sharing stories. As soon as that one comes out, I will make sure to put it out as well. But I had so much fun with the both of them. And it's always weird to me when I'm the one who's being interviewed, only because I'm the one who's always doing the interviewing. So it's weird for me sometimes when I'm on the other end, and I'm just like, okay, yes, there you go. That's what it is right there. Thank you, Keely. You know what? I'm just going to say this right now. Everyone needs a Keely. I shit you not. This person, I'm just blown away by her. She's awesome. Everyone needs a Keely. And Kev, you should get that on a mug or a t-shirt. He's probably like, no. But I'm serious though. Keely is awesome and does excellent work. But yes, right there. The podcast is called Bend in the Road Podcast. And when it starts out, what Roberta does is she asks each guest. I went first. I read the outline, but not everybody sticks to an outline sometimes. And oh wait, Keely says, "Ha ha ha." He is like, "Make it. He'll wear it." All right. I'm gonna put her face on it. Keely, I'm gonna have you take a picture like with a thumbs up, and I'm gonna put that on the bottom or maybe on the side. and then you're gonna wear it, dude. Oh, that's funny. Where was I? Oh, so Roberta, we jump right in, and she goes, "So, Ricardo, tell me about your bend in the road." And it's just like when we're starting it out, we're talking about how we thought or what we thought our path was going to be until that bend in the road. So you talk we that's how we started out. We talk about that. And I talk about teenager Ricardo never would have thought adult Ricardo is where he's at today. Seriously. I I never thought that I would be in public safety. I never thought I would be, a 911 dispatcher, supervisor, trainer, and now everything that I'm doing, working on the private side of 911, um, going on my own, doing all of this other stuff, public speaking, never would have thought. So it was a cool process the way she had it and the way we were talking and just sharing stories. So make sure to check that out. Again, it's called Bend in the Road Podcast, and it's hosted by Roberta. I'm Roberta. I'm not going to destroy your last name because I'm not gonna butcher it. But it was a lot of fun. So Roberta, if you end up seeing this, thank you so very much. It was awesome to be a guest on your podcast. I thank you so much for the opportunity. So it was really good. And I've recorded several episodes as well. One of those with Philip Daniels, and he is out of Louisiana, and was an officer, ended up getting hurt, and ends up going to work into dispatch, and he fell in love with it. And that was a really good episode as well. So that one is going to come out in a few weeks, but one that you do not want to miss because there's a story in there that he tells where 911 professional, 911 dispatcher, call taker ends up basically saving his career in the sense that I won't say what happened, but I'll say what was at the end that really helped because I don't want to ruin the story. It's not my story to share, it's his, and you will hear that when it comes out. But the last piece, I just want to mention that, and there's a reason. So I'll just say this piece. He ends up coming back to where the dispatcher's at. They meet outside, and the dispatcher gives him a hug and just says, "You did everything that you could do. Everything's going to be okay." And it was that just that small, which you might think is small, but is really huge when someone gives gives a shit about you enough to say something like that. And it was that was the reason that he is now 28 years into his public safety career. Obviously, this was before, he got hurt and ended up going into dispatch. This is when he was still out on the road. And, he talks about through emotions that is really what saved him because he was done after this call that he went on. He was done. And that's all it took. And then a reason I mentioned this as well too is because that just shows how much power there is in just a simple gesture, kindness, letting people know that they're not alone. That support. Dude, I cannot wait for you to listen to that story. And, you know, sometimes we need that. You would never know that anyone is going through anything, right? Unless you say something, unless you open your mouth, unless you give a shit. So it was really cool to have him on there and share that story. And there, like I said, I've got several more episodes coming up, and you are going to dig each and every one of them. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all the stuff that's coming up. Um, I forgot to mention this. I meant to mention this in the beginning, but also part of the community. Every Monday and Wednesday, I go live at about 10 in the morning, and it was 9 in the morning, but I realized I have a lot of emails and stuff that I respond to. And then I look up, I'm like, oh my God, I've got 10 minutes. So 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern time is when I go live on Monday. Tomorrow is a, a holiday, right? But I'm still going to go live, and I'll do my coffee chat. So it's a Monday morning coffee chat. We just check in with each other, just 30 minutes, just to see what everyone's doing for the week, what's on the agenda, maybe talk about some stuff that's coming up or whatever. And then on Wednesday, same time, also in the community, exclusively in the community. And I think though tomorrow's I'm going to do TikTok at the same time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But Wednesday is just a midweek check-in, just to see how everyone is doing for the week. And then, of course, Sundays, open mic live. So we've got all of that going on. And I just thank you all for everything. This past week has been great. It's been really busy. A lot of different things going on, and a lot of planning, some travel that's going to be coming up, which I'm excited for as well. And then I posted some of these videos. And so let me see here. I want to see. Okay. Some of you have seen this already, but I want to go ahead and post this. And let me see. I'll make sure that I've got the right video here. Actually, let me minimize one, and I think maybe that'll help. So let me switch my audio over here really quick so that you can all hear this. All right, here we go. All right, here's video number 1.
So we all know what it's like after working, whether it be an 8-hour shift, 12-hour shift, 16 hours, whatever the case may be. So when you get out and you're exhausted and you need to recharge your batteries, what do you do? What do you do after a long shift? For me, coming home from dispatch, I would either just chill on the couch, watch some TV, play some video games, or I would play with my kids. That was always a lot of fun. Or I would grill something because I love to grill. But what about you? What do you do to recharge your batteries after a long shift? I look forward to seeing what you have in the comments.
All right, there you have it. So, after a long shift, how do you recharge your batteries? What do you do? Anyone who's watching and listening right now, that's what I want to know. I want to know how you recharge your batteries. Now, I said it there, right? But I will elaborate a little bit as well. So, my shift, I was working 12 hours, and I would come home because I mean it's like I said, it's 12-hour shifts, but it's 4:30 in the afternoon to 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 to 4:30. That's what I worked. And so as soon as I got home, I mean, it was like 5 in the morning, maybe a little bit after, maybe more like a quarter after 5. And if I had to stop for gas or the weather, it'd be like 5:30 or so when I got home because I lived about 45 minutes away. I didn't live in the county that I worked in because, well, ignorance is bliss, right? So I would come home, nobody would be awake. So I would come home. Sometimes I would work out. But here's the thing, and this was the funniest shit now that I'm thinking about it. I remember that, let's just say if I was doing jumping jacks, I am trying my best to land softly so that I don't wake anybody up. And um just anything that had movement like that, I would be landing as softly as I could so that I wouldn't wake anyone up. And or if it wasn't working out, I would play video games. And a lot of times the video game that I would play the most. Now don't get me wrong, I would play some Call of Duty or something sometimes, and all you would hear would be the clicking. You would just hear the clicking of the controller because I wouldn't turn it up. So I would be doing multiplayer or whatever and just destroying people, trying to wind down, which doesn't make sense, right? Because I'm playing a first person shooter in a team and trying to do all this shit. And excuse me. And my blood pressure is going up, right? And everything because I'm just like, oh god, oh run. You know, all of this craziness going on. But the thing oh, what's up over here on Instagram? What up, Fletch? What is going on, dude? Says he's headed down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the Nina Apco Fall Conference. Travel safe, my friend, and have so much fun. You know, that is South Carolina's Nina Apco Conference is one that I've never gone to. I'm going to have to get over there. I'm going to have to go to that one finally. Keely over here says, pre-kid, I would watch trash TV until I fell asleep. 1900 0700. I was in the gym on my days off. Post-kid, reading, lots of reading. Then I retired. I mean, that works. That works. I know that there were some folks that I worked with that as soon as we got out of our shift, they would go to the gym. Like right from there, they would get their workout in, go home, shower up, or I don't know, whatever they would do. And then they would crash out. Here's the hard thing for me, though, is that when I would get home and whether it be workout, shower, then go to sleep or whichever, I didn't sleep that long. I would sleep maybe 4.5 hours. Seriously, 4.5 hours is what I would probably sleep because I didn't wanna miss anything, and I felt like I was missing everything, right? So I wouldn't sleep that much, and as soon as I woke up, then, you know, I was doing stuff with the family, and, but, going back to the video game piece, the one video game that I played the most, and I still love it to this day, my kids and I will play it. I would go home, and I wouldn't have the volume up that loud, just enough for me to be able to hear it, but Rock Band. Rock Band is what I would play, especially if it was a hard shift, a long shift, tough calls, all of that. I would choose certain songs that I could just escape with. Seriously, just to escape. And I would be sitting there on the couch just playing. And it's crazy because the strumming and the hitting the buttons and listening to the song at the same time, all of it was a process and it was therapeutic because I would just get lost in those songs. So that's what I played a lot. And I've posted that on Reels and TikTok and everything before, saying, it looks like I'm just standing here having a good time, right? And I am. However, years ago, this was my escape. This is how I would deal with some of those harder calls, is I would bust out this game and I would just play on the guitar. And what would happen sometimes, let's say on a Saturday, I worked 4:30 to 4:30, and I'd be sleeping that Sunday morning. The wife and kid would be at church, and as soon as I woke up, I would bust out the drums because I had the whole setup for Rock Band, and I would bust out the drums, and I would really just kind of take it out on the drums. That was therapeutic as well, just playing every single song that I could get into, just playing and playing and playing. And again, it was therapeutic, and I would just get lost in the music. And that's okay. Because also during that time was, trying to just figure out a lot of myself and come out of the hard shit that I was going through during that time. James over here says the weather is nasty at the Jersey Shore tonight. Oof. Dang. You guys haven't gotten any snow over there, have you? I'm sure there's some states out there already where it's, has started snowing and such. I think my friend Leah up north in Michigan in Traverse City maybe had a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I saw an older picture. I don't know now, but I'm sure it's going to start soon up there for sure. But either way, so that was one of the ways that I would wind down, or I would grill. No shit, at like 5:30 in the morning. Even if it was a blizzard, I would be out there grilling that early in the morning. Also back then was when I was still drinking. So I would get home and I would I would grill a steak to have steak and eggs for breakfast. So I would get 2 brews and I would go out onto the deck. I would have the shovel out a path as people are passing by to go to work. And I'm all like, "Hi," dumbass out there in cold, cold winter. And I would clean off the grill, turn that bitch on, get the 2 bottles of brew that I had, put it in the snow because it's a refrigerator, right? And a holder. Excuse me. And I would grill my steak, have steak and eggs, and it would just wind down. Oh, man. But yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. It wasn't until the last year and a half, and if you've ever heard me tell my story, then you know this part, but for those who don't, the last year and a half was really when I started getting into yoga, meditation, breathing techniques, and that all this other stuff. I would still play, Rock Band here and there, but it was more so once I started doing all of this stuff that was therapeutic for me, and also writing. I love writing. I've always written since I was a kid. So I would write stuff down, but also during that time I was going to school, so I was also designing and I was doing all of these other things. So there were so many other outlets that I had. But those main things towards that last year and a half was that. It was the meditation, yoga, breathing, and all of that. And I was winding down that way. Also, nothing I ever thought that I would do. Keely says, "Oh, yes, journaling. Lots of that. Yes, yes, journaling, quote collecting, all of it. Because it is therapeutic. You might not think it, but it is. I mean, that's how everything that I do for a living now started, was from my experience with calls, the writing, all of the writing I was doing started out as a blog. I mean, I've got tons of stories where I was just writing and writing and writing. And Fletch over here says podcasting is the new journaling. Yeah, dude, for real. Yeah. Yeah, because when I hit my master's program, that's what they introduced us to is podcasting. I was like, man, I love this. And all of those stories ended up coming in. I mean, there are several episodes where it's just me talking, no guest, just me sharing stories. And some of those were some of the best ones. But what I mean by that is because it was just me riffing. It was just me talking and sharing my thoughts and, stuff that was going on in dispatch. That's why I say that. Just out of those solo pieces that I was doing, it was really good. Again, don't get me wrong. Every episode that I've ever done has been powerful. It has been really good. But this one was just like a one-on-one, just me talking. And that really helped. Keely says, letting the voices in your head loose. Yes, definitely. So the ways that everything went through, it was just really switching how things were going. So, I'm when I put the video out there, it was cool to see how other people were unwinding and what it was that they started doing, but also how it has progressed or how it has evolved rather. Because some of the folks, especially on TikTok, there were people saying that, it started out one way and then evolved into a completely different way. Because once you start really exploring you in the sense of what is bothering me, what is it that I need to work on with me, things change. And the way you take care of yourself changes. The way you see certain things change. The more you look at yourself in the mirror, things change. And not a lot of people want to do that. Not a lot of people want to take that step because no one ever wants to think that they are the problem, or maybe not just the sole problem, right? But that there's something inside them that they need to work on because of shame, because of fear, because of whatever it might be. But when you take that step, a leap sometimes, how it feels, a leap, things start to change and they also make sense. There's a level of recognition in yourself, but also clarity that you end up getting out of it. And I talk to people about this stuff all the time, but I also tell people it's when you're ready. Because I will say this, in the beginning, when I was first working on this, when I was first working on me, there's a lot of denial. And I think that's what it is with everyone, is that there's a lot of denial. You might not want to admit it, but there's denial there. And then eventually, as you start working and working and working, you're like, fuck. Oh, no. But it's a good thing, though, because then you can start and you can move forward and you can keep going and keep going. And the more you work on it, and the more people maybe see those differences, they might approach you and just say, so, yeah, things are a little different, like for a little bit there, I felt like maybe there was some stuff going on, but I wasn't sure, and I wanted to ask, but I also didn't want to pry. So, you you're doing good. And, I would open up and say, yeah, man, I was dealing with some shit. And now I'm opening up. Now I'm talking about things. I've been writing a lot. I've been journaling a lot. I've been, getting into yoga. I've been doing meditation, breathing techniques, like all different kinds of things. And that type of energy and vibe ends up going out there, and other people start thinking, well, maybe I should do something similar. And that's how we start taking care of each other. That's how the conversation evolves as well. And you find out that you're not alone, that there are more and more people that are going through the same shit. But there's that fear. What if my coworkers, what if they hear that I'm going through this? Or what if I talk to them and they don't accept me? There's that fear. There's that shame. But as I've said before many times, there's more courage in opening up and sharing than hiding it or just pushing it down. And I know a lot of people do, and I say that because I was one of those as well. But that's why we talk about this. That's why we have these tough conversations with each other and especially ourselves. Because it's okay to take care of this shit now instead of waiting until you're out and then you feel like you can't reach out to your 911 family anymore, which you can. Once dispatch, always dispatch. So don't ever feel shame, man. Things are okay. You can ask. Sorry, kind of went off on a on a path there, but I just want everyone to know that it's okay. Because I know for a long time it didn't feel like it. And we just got to keep these conversations going so that people do know that everything's going to be okay. And that there are a lot more people out there going through the same shit than you know. But again, that's why we continue to talk about this stuff. And I love talking about this stuff with you. So it was cool, again, to see how people were responding to that unwinding video. Now, I want to share, I've got another video, but I want to wait a moment because of the video that it is. And because of what I say in it, there's a specific word that is said in there. But I'm going to wait for a moment. I'm going to wait for a moment. There was a question, though, that I ended up posting out on social media. And I want to post this here in the comments. Oh, hold on a minute. Here we go. So I want to post this here really quick because I just want to see what your thoughts are. I just want to see what you would choose. So I'll say it out loud, but I'll put it in the comments as well. So if you had to choose between a double shift and mandatory training on your day off, what would it be? What would be your choice? If you had a choice between a double shift or mandatory training on your day off, what would you choose? I'm curious. I'm curious to see what you would choose. So I've got that in there. And yeah, it looks like it went through. But either way, again, if you had to choose between a double shift or mandatory training on your day off, what would it be? For me, I think I would just take the double shift, man. I don't know. I think my thought process is because I'm probably missing a lot of stuff as it is already. So I don't want to take the training a mandatory training on my day off because I want to have those days off for my family and I. Keely says, give me the double. At least I am not sitting through the ridiculous trainings they were cramming in my face that were never dispatch related. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Fletch over here says double shift as well. And, oh man, it's going to be doing a regular column on the Converse. Well done, dude. You and I both. That's right. So that's exciting as well. But double shift so far, everyone, double shift. James, I don't know if you're still there in the comments or anything, but what would you choose? What would you choose? Double shift or mandatory training on your day off? And again, that's what I would choose too. I would choose the double shift. Let's just get it over and done with, man. Hook it up with that extra loot and let's get it over and done with. I will just take the shift. Screw it. Because again, I'm probably missing time with my family already as it is. We all know how it works or what happens. And you're right, Keely. There were some times that some of that training is like, why are we even here? Like, this makes no sense. I don't understand why we're taking this bullshit. So, yeah, no, I will seriously, I will take the double shift. Fuck it. Give me the money. Give me the double shift. Plus, whatever team I'm with, we're going to rock it anyway. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get it done, man, because that's how dispatch does it. Let's see. James says training extra flow and off the deek. What? Are you telling me that you're training extra folks right now and you're not on the floor at the moment? I think that's what you're saying. Well, hypothetically then, what would you choose? The double shift or the training? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what I would take. A lot of people let's see. Let me look really quick cuz actually I put this as a poll in my Instagram. So let me look at this really quick. And there were several people who responded to it. So let me look here. It's Oh, okay. So looking at this poll right here for this one on Instagram, um, the majority of folks in this poll said that they would take the mandatory training on their day off. I mean, to each their own, right? To to each their own, I guess. Yeah, the majority. Well, yeah, way tons more. They would take the mandatory training on their day off versus the double shift. All right. Well, we are not the same. But it's all good. Again, it all depends on your situation. It all depends on, whatever's going on. Yeah, I hear that as well. Okay, so James would prefer the training day. All right. Well, there you go. James got the training day as well then. Interesting. I mean, that's good. Well, okay, hold on. I will say this. Depending on the training, I might because there were some trainings, not a lot, but there were some trainings I remember when I was in dispatch that I took that were pretty badass. There were some good ones. So I don't know, it depends. But I guess also at the same time, I mean, I might not know exactly what the training is that's coming up. They'd be like, you'll just take this. It's just one that you're going to take. I'm like, okay. So I guess it depends. But my main choice would be the double shift. Just give me the double shift. I'll just take it. See, James says I do 12s, can only do 4 extra hours. Yes. Yeah, that's what it would be. That's what I mean. The extra shift. So it would be 16 hours. versus, like 24. It wouldn't be consecutive like that because it was the same with ours. The same exact as you just said. We could only do 4 others. So yeah, it would have to be like that 16-hour shift. Keely says, I also would rather work the additional hours. So like bring on the 16 instead of me working on my day off. Yeah, exactly. My day was already shot. Pack on the hours. Yes. And I would always volunteer if I was able to, if I was in the right spot on the force enlist, I would volunteer so that I would be working that 4:30 to 4:30 and it would just go straight to 9 in the morning and then bam, later I'm out. Deuces. Yes, I would volunteer, man. That was the best way to do it because otherwise if you don't, at least for the way it worked where I was at and during that time, it would be um I would get out at 4:30 in the morning and then there would be 4 hours in between and I would have to come back and do 9 come in at 9 a.m. and that would suck. Sometimes I would sleep there at dispatch because I would have to come back at 9. So I would, whenever I had the chance, I would always volunteer. Keely says, I even did 18s. So I did an 18-hour shift once, and that was on Christmas Eve. And that was, double time and a half, which is awesome. That was really good. And then as soon as I got home that morning, we did Christmas. And I remember opening presents. Like I was there, but I was fighting. I was fighting because I'm opening presents with the family and I'm like trying to keep my eyes open. and then I would go to sleep and just sleep for a couple hours and then, spend the rest of the time with the family and then go right back to work. Go right back in the dispatch, man. Keely says Hurricane Sandy was 26 hours. 26 hours straight? Holy wow. Yeah, dude. That's a lot of time as well. So one of the questions I was going to ask on here, I'm going to save until this coming Sunday, until next Sunday for the next one. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show that video. And I see there's a lot of people watching. So if any of you are in dispatch right now, I apologize. Okay. But I want to know what your response is to this. All right, here we go. Let me play this really quick here. All right.
Picture it. Dispatch. You come in for your shift. You relieve your partners. And when they go to split on you, they end up saying, I hope you have a quiet shift. What is your response? Oh, hell yeah. We are going to rock this. What? What did you just say? You. So what's your response? I look forward to seeing what you put in the comments.
Oh, okay. So there's the video. I posted this and the amount of comments that came out and stories. If I had more time, I would read some of them, but they were hilarious. So what is your response? Are you one of those folks who immediately was like, let's do it? I don't care if you said the Q word, let's do it. Let's rock this. Or are you the other response where you're like, MF, are you for real right now? You realize what you just did? You are tempting fate. What? Let me look in the comments here. James says, speaking of extra time due to the weather, I'm heading in. Oh, no. I'm sorry, James. Oh, no. James just said, speaking of extra time due to the weather, I am heading in for OT at midnight. Dude, I'm sorry. Keely says, womp womp, Jim. The radar looks terrible by you. Oh, no. For those who are looking right or watching right now, this is what Jim said. This is Jim's response. Oh, man. Amazing. Oh, hell no. Richard over here says, my response, you're dead to me. Get the F out. But then we'd have a blast when it got busy. Okay, so I like that. I like that response. You're like, you're dead to us. But then you rocked it, right? Because there's nothing else you can do but rock it because you're there and you got to do what you do. Keely says, you just cursed Jim for the rest of the night. I can just imagine. Oh, my stomach hurts from laughing so hard. I'm sorry. I can just imagine when the video is playing that that James, that you really did say that out loud. Oh, that is great. I'm going to have to clip this. I'm going to have to clip that part and play it. Oh, man. I'm so sorry, dude. I hope I hope that your night, that your shift and everything goes well. I'll leave it at that. He's not commenting anymore. He's like, what a dick. Oh, man. Well, with that said, I'm laughing too much, man. This is great. All right. With that said, what is your number now, except for James? I'm sure James's number is a number 1 for me, and it's not the pointer finger. See, James, that's why you're the best. James is like, makes the OT go by quicker. That's why you're the best, dude. Oh, man. I need to get back over to Jersey so we can go to that one pizza place that we were at the last time I was out there. That was good. We had a good time. I had so much fun with you guys. Richard over here says, and get a snippet of South Park from when they killed Kenny and yelled, you bastard, and play the soundbite over his comment. I'm going to have to look for that. Oh, that's so funny. James is like, he's a -10. Oh, man. I love you guys. This is so much fun. And for real, dude, I'm sorry. I wish I would have read your comment there. Oh, man. That made for my abs hurting because I'm laughing so much. Oh, man. Oh, that is great. Keely says first ever negative number in the history of open mic. Yeah, exactly. Yep. But it was for a good reason. That's so good. Oh man. Again, I love you guys. This has been so much fun. I've had so much fun with you. And woo. I hope everyone has an excellent night. I hope your numbers have gone up. I don't know where to go with the number part. But either way, so much fun. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital, Elite Next Gen Core Services. Shout out to subscribers as always. Thank you very, very much. If you have any comments, questions, or I pissed you off by saying the Q word this morning or this evening, you can send an email and simply go to links.co/IM911. Wait, Keely says my kid has found you amusing this evening. What's up? What is going on, dude? I hope you had fun. I had fun with all of you. And if you go to that, again, links with 2eyes.co/IM911, you can find my email on there, all of my social media, where to hear the latest episode of Within the Trenches podcast, as well as Imagine Listening. And you can find the link for the Trenches community, again, free community, all types of stuff on there. And also podcast dispatch merch and all kinds of other good things. So again, you can check it out there. Or also, if you want to be a guest on the show, there's a button on there to be a guest. You can sign up. And whether you are new to dispatch, seasoned, or you are retired, I would love to share your story. I've been doing this for over a decade, and it's an honor to do so. So thank you guys for everything, and also your trust in me to share those stories as well. It has just been amazing. So thank you so very much. Richard says, hey, for me, James' negative number even beat out my high number from my episode 69. That was always so funny every time I thought about it, but James topped it. And James says, just kidding, I am a 10, love laughing with the group. Oh man, I love you guys. It's been so fun. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as X and Instagram. And then for the podcasts, whether it be Imagine Listening or Within the Trenches, you can hear that 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Have a good night, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one. Keely says that's because he already sent you hate emails. Oh, shit. Have a good night, everyone. I will see you all in the next one.